few weeks ago I completed 75 hard and I'm super glad I did it, and I'll probably do it again in the future. But it wasn't hard. Or it was hard, but it wasn't hard in the sense that it pushed me outside my comfort zone. Now, I don't plan to discourage anyone from doing this challenge. I think it's definitely worth doing, but I want to bring up a few things that I don't hear a lot of people talking about. So 75 hard did push me physically, but it didn't really push me mentally. And I think I sort of knew that going into it. Like, I knew I would be able to handle what was involved in it, and so felt pretty safe going into this challenge. I feel like a lot of the standard self-improvement stuff, like working out, reading, eating healthy, allows people to push themselves in areas that they're already comfortable in. I feel like I'm pretty comfortable within the uncomfortable of doing a lot of this self-improvement stuff. But there's plenty of other areas where I would be uncomfortable and uncomfortable, and for me, doing those things would have resulted in more growth. And that's not to say all the classic self-improvement stuff can't result in more growth. It's important to remember that if you're at a stage where working out and reading all the time is easy to you, that it probably took you a little while to get to that stage. I've basically just timed the market well. I've been working out and eating healthy and all that stuff for a while now, and so coming into 75 hard, it didn't feel like a big step. And for me, I feel like to experience proper growth, you need to be willing to step outside your comfort zone and do hard things. And I'm not talking about working out harder or reading more books harder. I'm talking about doing things that are actually scary to you and make you feel uncomfortable. If 75 hard was a challenge where you had to speak to 15 strangers and attend a ballroom dance class every week, I would find that 100 times more challenging. If you tell me that I have to train and run a marathon next week, I'll have almost zero nerves about that. But tell me that I have to prepare a talk and speak in front of 15 people next week, and my heart will start racing and the nerves will kick in. And for me, those nerves are just a sign that that's an area I need some growth in. And the zero nerves I get from finding out that I need to read more or run a half marathon are a sign that I'm good in those areas. And I suppose 75 hard isn't really marketed as a growth challenge. It's a mental toughness challenge. So if you're already into self-improvement and this is something you want to give a go, I would still go for it. Just because you might find parts of it easy doesn't mean it's not worth doing, and I think you can still get a lot out of it. So, will I continue doing 2 45-minute workouts every day? Probably not, but doing this challenge has made doing one 45-minute workout seem short. And I think that's my main takeaway from this part of the challenge. Longer workouts now seem shorter. So the diet I picked wasn't really specific. It wasn't the keto diet or Mediterranean. It was basically just avoid all junk food, no takeouts, and track my macros every day. To be honest, I actually enjoyed tracking my macros. I want to build muscle, and I've learned through tracking my macros that I was eating nowhere near what I should have been eating, just calorie wise and protein wise. So tracking my macros is something that I'm definitely going to try and continue doing. I'm an absolute fiend when it comes to drinking alcohol. I'm usually out in the club drinking all the beer and tequila, every night. So the no alcohol part of this challenge was a struggle for me. And for the no cheat meals, this one was kind of a struggle, but basically I had a list of snacks I said were healthy, and whenever I wanted something I would just go to that list, and that was great. But now that the challenge is over, I just feel like putting a limit on yourself to eat absolutely no cheat meals just isn't worth it. I'm not going to go crazy now and eat shit every day, but if I'm wanting like a Domino's or Snickers or just anything like that, I'm just going to have it. For me, this one was completely life-changing. There's just something about taking a photo of yourself every single day and seeing absolutely zero change that's just very motivating, and it definitely didn't get annoying or anything like that. Now, I get taking a photo of yourself at the beginning and at the end of the challenge, but taking one every single day felt kind of pointless to me. But I did it, and there is a slight change I noticed. I don't think I'm going to show you it. I don't know why. I feel kind of uncomfortable doing that. Yeah, I'm happy with the change I seen. Fuck it, I'll just show you it. So for me, the water thing alone made this challenge worth it. I mentioned this in my 50 days update video, but essentially, a few days into this challenge, I felt noticeably better. Just sharper, more clear-headed, better able to focus, and I'm convinced that it was increasing my water intake. Beforehand, I was maybe drinking 1.5 to 2 litres of water every day, and I think doubling that had an impact on me. So I'm definitely going to continue drinking loads of water. I think I might drop it down to 3 litres. I think 3.8 is just slightly too much, but again, I'm really grateful that this was a part of this challenge, and I learned that I should be drinking much more water. So I really enjoyed having a specific number of pages to get through each day. Throughout this challenge, I read Starry Messenger, Man's Search for Meaning, Breaking Bad 101, and How to Win Friends and Influence People. I'm usually someone who listens to a lot of Audible books, but I actually really enjoyed reading things physically, and I think this is definitely a habit I want to continue. Most days I only read the 10 pages, so it was pretty surprising how much books I got through, just doing that. So I also gave myself a few additional things to do along 75 Hard, and I completed them all. Almost. One was to journal and meditate every day, but give more time to those things, which I felt like I did. 2 was to do a digital detox, so I've kept my phone kinda dumbed down, but I re-downloaded YouTube and Instagram, so I did fail that one. The 3rd was to do daily push-ups with the goal of hitting 50 consecutive push-ups. Now, I didn't do daily push-ups, I kinda forgot that, and 40 days in, I was still pretty far off getting 50, but I basically just went for it this one day, and doing these weird break things in between kinda helped, so I got it. I suppose it's not super legit. I don't even know if some of these final ones could be considered push-ups, but I'm still very happy that I managed to get it. I think my next goal will be 60 and then 70, but I also want to try that Bring Sally Up challenge, so I think that will be my next target. The 4th thing was to start going to a gym, which I started doing. So I've started going to a new gym that's nearby, and I'm currently in the process of learning how to use half of the machines. The first day I went in, I played it safe. I used the treadmill, some dumbbells, but now it's a good month in and I'm using like the chest fly machines and the fucking arm ergometers. Like I'm definitely experimenting with a few things that I've never even seen before. So yeah, I'm definitely glad that I started going to a gym. My 5th target was to watch the complete series of Breaking Bad, which I managed to fit in. So this was my 3rd time watching this. I love it. It's weird, the show is so good that it almost feels kind of like productive watching it. I feel like I don't get that with any other show, but yeah, would definitely recommend. And finally, I wanted to learn and record one song on piano, which was another success. Basically, I was neglecting the keyboard for months, and I wanted to use this challenge to set myself the challenge of recording another song. So I'll link that in the description if you really want to watch it. But for me, the real goal of this goal was to get me back into the habit of playing, and I feel like I've done that. So at the end of the day, things like communication skills, social skills, being more open with people, these are the things that have the greatest potential for growth for me. And so I think moving forward, I should set myself challenges related to those things. I'll still do all the self-improvement stuff, reading, working out, eating healthy. I still enjoy doing all that. But in this period of my life, I don't feel like I need to push myself in those areas. And basically, I just don't want to continue pushing myself in areas that I'm already comfortable in. Anyway, thanks for watching. Comment below your thoughts on 75 Hard. Are you currently doing it, or are you planning on doing it? And yeah,